So where do they get one day for a year? Where did these elder brethren come to that conclusion? Well, you can find 3 scriptures for it. Numbers 14:34. After the number of the days which ye searched the land, even 40 days, each day for a year, shall ye bear your iniquities, even 40 years, and ye shall know my breach of promise. And then in Ezekiel 4, verses 5 and 6, Ezekiel is having a vision. And here we see visionary language that the Lord is telling Ezekiel that in visions a day is to be understood as a year. For I have laid upon thee the years of their iniquity according to the number of days. 390 days, so shalt thou bear the iniquity of the house of Israel. That is about the intertestamental times, by the way. And when thou hast accomplished them, lie again on thy right side, and thou shalt bear the iniquity of the house of Judah 40 days. I have appointed thee a day for each year. That's the 40 years that Jesus was on earth and the Jews didn't accept him. That's what I believe they mean. All right. Here we see the principle. A day is equal to the year. Now the Hebrews had a year of 360 days. They had the Hebrew calendar was a little complex, but you find the Babylonians also used a 360-day calendar, and the Jews added a month every 5 years, was it every 5 years, something like that, and additional days to keep the Passover in spring where it's supposed to be. But nevertheless, from a prophetic standpoint, they understood the year to be 360 days, and their observance of their feasts was in accordance to a 360-day year. The Roman year is 365.24 days. So from Ezekiel 4, verses 5 and 6, when the Bible uses days in a prophetic sense, they should be viewed as Hebrew or solar years, depending upon where they appear in Scripture. Hebrew year. For Old Testament prophecy only, Daniel used a Hebrew calendar of 360 days, or 0.9857 of a solar year. So when we look at Old Testament prophecy, all of our history is written in solar years. So we have to convert those prophecies to fit our solar years so that they fit. A solar year. For New Testament prophecy, John was raised under Roman rule and used a solar calendar. When John wrote Revelation, it was 95 A.D., and all of the Holy Land had been under Roman rule since 65 B.C., over 100 years. So it's unlikely that John ever knew any other calendar but the Roman calendar. So it's reasonable to conclude. Matter of fact, when John was given Revelation, he was on Patmos in 95 A.D., a Roman island controlled by Romans. 60 years after the church was established, the Gentile church, the book is written to the Gentiles. There's every reason to accept the Gentile calendar for the New Testament prophecy. Now let's look at a graph of the history of the children of Israel. These are all generally accepted dates, and you can find them in Haley's Bible Handbook or Zondervan's Pictorial Encyclopedia of the Bible, or many other major encyclopedias or Bible histories. Now, why is it important to see this? Well, because not all Bible, but many Bible prophecies say, from the time that so-and-so happens until XYZ takes place, shall be a certain amount of time. Well, we have to know when that beginning time is before we can see how that Bible prophecy is fulfilled. Now, this chart that you're going to be looking at now is a history of the children of Israel from the time of Moses all the way to the time of the cross. Moses led the children of Israel out of Egypt in 1446 BC. 40 years later, the time of the judges began. In 1406 BC, it began with Joshua, who led the people into the children of Israel, into the land of Canaan. And then David became king of Israel 400 years later in 1006 BC. Then the temple was built by Solomon in 966 BC. Now that's a pin date, and we can pretty much prove that date. The Davidic kingdom continued on until the Babylonian captivity of 606 BC. However, in 933 BC, Jeroboam the son of Nebat divided the kingdom away from Judah so that there was 2 kingdoms in the Holy Land, the kingdom of Judah and the kingdom of Israel. Jeroboam the son of Nebat divided the kingdom in 933 BC, and that kingdom continued until 722 BC when Sennacherib, the Assyrian destroyed Samaria, and that ended the northern kingdom. Then going back to the kingdom of Judah, the Babylonian captivity began in 606 BC and ended in 536 BC. The children returned to the land, and Jewish history continues as far as the Bible is concerned until the time of the cross, 32 to 34 AD, and shortly after that, as recorded in the book of Acts. From Revelation, it continued on until probably 95 to 105 AD. Now, the first temple of Solomon was built, as I said, in 966 BC. It was destroyed in 586 BC, built, as I said, in 966 BC. It was destroyed in 586 BC, and that's a pin date. We can pretty much prove that date. The second temple was constructed under Ezra in 516 BC and continued until the Romans, under Titus, the general Titus, destroyed it in 70 AD. Now, these are generally accepted dates, and we need them because we need to know when some of these prophecies begin.